Hi, welcome to today's Yin Yoga practice. We will use a block for our last Yin pose. If you don't have a block, a heavy, thick book can be used instead. We will be holding each pose for 1 to 2 minutes today. So do not come into your deepest version of the pose. Come only to the point where you begin to feel sensation so that you can remain still within the pose, allowing the breath, mind, and body to soften. We'll begin today seated comfortably on the floor. Let the spine be straight but relaxed. Gently close the eyes if it feels okay for you. And then allow the shoulders to fall away from the ears. Soften the jaw, the forehead, and the area around the eyes. Take these first several breaths to leave behind whatever was going on before you came to this practice, and allow yourself to focus on your inhales and your exhales. Remain focused on your breath, noticing the gentle rise and fall of the chest and belly. Keep your awareness on your breath. As we begin to move into our Yin poses, remember we will be staying in each pose for a couple of minutes. I will guide you into each pose, then we'll remain silent. During that time, you can focus on your breath, practice meditation, gratitude, or prayer. Take one last deep breath in through the nose. And exhale slowly through the nose or mouth. Gently open your eyes. We'll begin in Dragonfly or straddle. Take the legs as wide as is comfortable. And then begin to walk the hands forward, resting weight into the hands or down onto the forearms. Feeling sensation along the inner thighs, hips, and maybe along the back and hamstrings. Allow the muscles to relax and the breath to soften. Slowly begin to lift the chest and crawl the hands back toward the body to come out of the pose. Place your hands on the floor behind you. Bend the knees and allow the feet to be wider than the hips. Slowly let the knees drop from side to side. From here, we'll come onto all fours in order to make our way into thread the needle. Take the right arm underneath the left, resting the shoulder and right temple on the floor. The left hand can remain on the floor near the head and face for stability, or you can crawl the left hand forward toward the top of the mat. You may want to carefully adjust the chin so that it is aimed toward the chest, and perhaps tuck the tailbone as well to see if this affects the sensation you feel in the upper back and between the shoulder blades. Slowly return to tabletop by taking your left hand back toward the face and then pressing into the ground to slowly lift the chest. From here, we'll move to the other side. Take the left arm and send it underneath the right. Rest the left shoulder and left temple on the floor. The right hand can stay where it is for stability, or you can begin to walk the hand forward to the top of the mat. Remember, you can gently make adjustments with the chin and tailbone to see if this changes the sensation you feel in the upper back, shoulders, and neck. Carefully begin to make your way out of the pose by slowly bringing the right arm back toward the face. Press into the hand to lift the chest and return to tabletop. Sit back on the heels, clasp your hands behind your back, and lift the chest for a counter pose. Take a few breaths here. Slowly unclasp the hands and return to tabletop. From here, we'll make our way into Swan Pose. You may also know this as pigeon. Take the right knee and place it behind the right wrist. Allow the right foot to rest in between the left wrist and left hip. Stretch the left leg down the mat behind you. And you can stay here with the chest lifted, or you may begin to fold forward any amount, resting weight into the hands or the forearms. Feeling sensation in the right hip, allow the breath, body, and mind to relax. If you're folded forward, begin to slowly walk the hands back toward your body and lift the chest. Gently make your way back to tabletop and we'll switch sides. Take the left knee and place it behind the left wrist. Let the left foot rest between the right wrist and the right hip. Send the right leg down the mat behind you. Remember, you can keep the chest lifted or you can fold forward any amount. Feeling sensation in the left hip, allow the muscles to relax and let the breath be natural. Begin to slowly make your way out of the pose by lifting the chest and returning to tabletop. Tuck the toes under and lift the hips up and back to come into a downward facing dog. Bend the knees as much as needed and maybe pedal out the feet. Slowly drop the knees back down onto the ground and make your way into a seated position. Grab your block and we'll make our way into our last yin posture, supported bridge. Come into a reclined position with the feet resting on the floor. Take your block or book and place it underneath the pelvis. Make sure the block is under the pelvis and not the lower back. You have the option to stay here with the feet resting on the floor, or you can begin to straighten out the legs. The arms can rest beside you, or as an alternative, you can let the arms rest overhead to create sensation in the front of the body as well as the lower back. Begin to gently make your way out of the pose by bending the knees if they are straight and placing the soles of the feet on the floor. If your arms are overhead, bring them back to the sides of the body. Slowly lift the hips and remove your block. Pull your knees into your chest and rock gently from side to side for a few breaths before moving into Savasana. Make your way into Savasana, or final resting pose, by letting the legs go down along the mat, feet wider than the hips. Let the feet relax out to the sides, and the arms can rest to the sides of the body with the palms facing up. As an alternative, you can even take the arms out wide overhead. Begin to let the weight of the body sink into the floor. Take the first few moments to scan from the tips of the toes to the top of the head to see if you are holding tension anywhere in the body. If you notice tension, give yourself permission to let the tension go on an exhale. This is where I will leave you today. The music will continue for a few more minutes. Stay here as long as you need. Thank you for practicing with me.